Just because a religious organization does something good, that doesn't automatically mean it legally qualifies as advancing religion. This is a critical distinction.
B.I.G. Charity Law Group. Email us at welcome@charitylawgroup.ca or give us a call at 416-488-5888.
So you've done it. You've filled out all the paperwork, you've dotted every I and crossed every T for your charity application. You're feeling good. And then, a thick envelope from the Canada Revenue Agency lands on your desk and it's full of some really intense questions. What gives? Well, today we're going to demystify this whole process. It's stressful for sure, but there's a surprising logic to it all. And let's be real, opening that letter from the CRA can feel like a total punch to the gut. I mean, it's easy to think, hey, we have a congregation, we hold services. What more could you possibly need to know? It feels incredibly personal, right? But as we're about to see, there's a very impersonal, very deliberate reason behind every single question they ask. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why does the tax agency get to put your actual faith under a microscope? Well, stick with me here, because by the end of this explainer, you're not only going to understand why they do it, you're also going to have a super clear roadmap for getting that approval. Okay, so first things first, let's get right into the why. The CRA's tough questions, they're not about you or your beliefs personally. It's all about protecting the system. See, charitable status comes with some major tax perks, and they have to make absolutely sure those benefits aren't being abused.
You know, the CRA has seen some pretty creative attempts to game the system over the years. We're talking about so-called churches that are really just family tax shelters, or philosophy clubs trying to pass as religions, or even organizations that are nothing more than a front to funnel money. So to catch the fakes, they kind of have to put every single applicant through the same tough vetting process.
Now, it's important to know the CRA isn't just making these rules up on a whim. Their entire process is grounded in a very specific legal framework. And you know what? It all boils down to one critical concept: whether or not your organization is truly advancing religion. And here it is. This is the phrase that the whole thing hinges on: advancing religion. This isn't just about being a religious group that does good things in the community. No, this is a strict legal test. Your core activities have to directly and tangibly promote your religious teachings. So you see, it's not a test of your faith, it's a test of your organization's legal purpose. So to meet that legal standard, you have to pass what you might call the Holy Trinity test. It's pretty straightforward. You've got to show three things. 1, you have a belief in a supreme being. 2, your followers actually worship or revere that being. And 3, you have a whole structured system that ties it all together. It's pretty much an all-or-nothing deal. All right, let's get practical. That big letter from the CRA with its super long list of questions, yeah, it can look seriously intimidating. But don't worry, we're going to break it all down into a simple 7-point checklist. By the end, you'll know exactly what they want and, more importantly, why they want it. Okay, number 1 on their list, your statement of faith. The CRA needs to see your beliefs spelled out loud and clear. This is not the time for vague spirituality. They want your specific doctrines, your theological positions, and a really clear explanation of how it all fits together into a comprehensive system. So why are they so picky about this? Well, it's because they need to draw a very clear line between a religious organization and, say, a philosophy club or a self-help group. If your statement of faith is too generic, that's going to raise a red flag for them. It has to be unmistakably religious. Second, they're going to ask about your members. You know, how does someone actually join your group? Are there specific requirements, like a formal confession of faith? Are there any fees involved? All of this helps them confirm that you're a genuine, open community and not just some kind of exclusive, closed-off group. Now, for the question that, yeah, it makes everyone a little uncomfortable. The CRA is going to ask for a head count of your members, and they're going to ask if any of them are related to each other. Yes, you heard that right. They want to know about family connections within your congregation. And there's a huge reason they ask this. They're on the lookout for those family tax shelter churches we talked about earlier. If it turns out your entire membership is basically one big extended family, you can expect some serious follow-up questions. It's not necessarily an automatic no, but you'll have a much bigger hill to climb to prove you're a public institution, not just a private family club. Fourth on the list, get ready to talk all about your leadership. The CRA wants to see that your ministers or religious leaders are legitimately qualified. That means you'll need to provide all the details on their education, their theological training, their ordination papers, and any past experience they have. And here's the why behind that credentials check. They're trying to filter out leaders whose only qualification is some certificate they printed off an online ordination mill in 5 minutes for $20. They are looking for genuine, substantive theological training and recognized authority. Next up, numbers 5 and 6 are all about your operations. They'll want the nitty-gritty details on your services, how often do you meet, where, how many people usually show up. And if you're part of a larger religious body, they'll want to know about that relationship too. It all helps them build a picture of a real, functioning community with proper oversight. And finally, number 7, they want to see your message in action. You'll need to send them samples of your weekly bulletins, any newsletters you put out, brochures, even your website content. And trust me, they actually read this stuff. They're checking to make sure your primary focus is genuinely religious and not, say, political. Okay, this next part is a really big one, and honestly, it's where a lot of well-intentioned groups get tripped up. Here it is. Just because a religious organization does something good, that doesn't automatically mean it legally qualifies as advancing religion. This is a critical distinction. Take a look at this. It really shows the difference pretty clearly. On one side, you have worship services and religious study. Those are obvious wins. But on the other side, you've got things like a community coffee shop run by the church or social events. And while those things are great for the community, in the eyes of the CRA, they might not meet that strict legal test of directly promoting religious doctrine. So here's the bottom line. For every single activity you list on your application, the CRA is basically asking one core question. Does this thing you're doing represent a targeted effort to promote or increase belief in your religion? Here's a good rule of thumb. If a non-religious group could do the exact same activity for the exact same reasons, it probably won't count. So, after hearing all that, you might be wondering how on earth you set yourself up for success. Well, the secret is all about being proactive. So let's walk through the steps to build an application that's so solid it answers the CRA's questions before they even have a chance to ask them. Here it is, your 5-step action plan. 1. Make sure your founding documents are absolutely airtight and crystal clear about your beliefs. 2. For every single activity you do, explicitly connect it back to your religious mission. 3. Get all your proof and documentation ready to go before you hit submit. 4. Just be honest and upfront about your structure, especially if there are family or international ties. And 5. Seriously consider getting some professional help early on to spot any red flags. At the end of the day, the CRA's process isn't really designed to be a roadblock. It's more like a gatekeeper, and its job is to protect the integrity of the entire charitable sector. The process challenges you to be organized, to be transparent, and to be accountable. So the real question isn't, will the CRA approve us? The real question is, are we ready to prove that we've earned it?
Found this video helpful? Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips on building and managing your charity or nonprofit. Ready to take the next step in your journey? Book a free consultation today at charitylawgroup.ca. Thanks for watching. See you on our next video.